Today on the show, we'll be recapping Week 1, talking about our biggest surprises and disappointments, Week 1 overreactions, as well as Dale and Scott being in a trade war in one of our leagues together. All right, boys, let's get to it.
Welcome to the JSD Fantasy Football Podcast with your boy, Scott Papa Fox Jackson, my guy, Mr. Prestige John Evans, and the one and only bearded warrior, Big Dale Gibson. And we are JSD. Welcome to the pod, y'all.
All right, welcome to the JSD Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Scott.
I'm Dale.
And we are JSD Fantasy. So how you boys doing?
Pretty well, man. Pretty well.
Awesome.
Not too bad. Can't complain. Yep.
All
Let's
right.
get this thing going.
Yes, sir. So we got Scott. He's going to run a point tonight on some talking points. We're just going to kind of get into it. Take it away, Scott.
Yes, sir. So, of course, we're going to start with the game of the week. I still think it's the game of the week. Ravens versus Chiefs. So, one thing I want to say is Xavier Worthy was not all hype. The speed was not for naught. It was fucking real. Xavier Worthy, I think, is going to be a real nice piece of that Chiefs offense. What about you guys?
I think if you have him and he's on your bench and you're a little iffy about your flex, I think you put him in your flex weekly.
Let's start.
Definitely. John?
Yeah, I agree. The speed's definitely there. I think there was a lot of talk about Kansas City not really relying on their rookies first year, kind of like the Buffalo situation. That's how James Cook started out slow up there, but I think they were put in a spot where they had to play him because of the injuries to Hollywood. Question marks. All right, well, who else are we going to throw it to? And piggybacking off that, notice not a lot of Kelsey. So
my question is, do we think that is for the year? Do you think he's falling off a cliff? His usage just isn't going to be up there, or just week one rest?
I think it's a lot of week one. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think obviously he had a very busy offseason with his personal life, a lot of traveling, I would assume. So he probably didn't put in a lot of time in the gym while he was, out in the offseason, probably knocking off the rust through training camp and just getting back into it, week one. But with his new weapon in Worthy and how good Rashee Rice looked and Isaiah Pacheco, I don't know if they're going to scale back his workload, but I don't think he gets as many looks as we're used to seeing him get, because just because Worthy gives them an added dimension to their game that they haven't had in a couple of years since really they lost Tyreek Hill. And then Hollywood Brown's still supposed to come back. So I think with that, they'll start to look elsewhere and kind of take the load off of Kelsey. But in critical situations, critical downs, they're going to look his way.
Yeah, I still don't think it's. I don't think it's week one, or I think that might be the new game plan. It could be week one rust and stuff like that. I'm not saying it couldn't be that, but I think that maybe this is the new balance. So that way it's not always defenses predicting that, hey, the ball's going to go to Kelsey probably. That's kind of been the go-to move for Mahomes. He gets in a tight pinch. He does a weird little flick, underhand behind the back, somersault, whatever, and he gets it to Kelsey. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. Yep. So I think them having more weapons this year, I think this is just the evolution of their offense, and it's kind of scary, especially as Niners fans, who we're going to go up against at some point in the season to get to the big game. So,
well, then last part of the Chiefs question, right? Is Hollywood Brown going to take away from Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy?
I don't think as much as people are. Okay, I don't think as much as Brown owners are expecting. Okay.
You see, I think it's going to be, Rashi Rice number one. I think Xavier Worthy will still be the number two as far as wide receivers go. Kelsey's always going to be his favorite. But as far as wide receivers, I got Rashi Rice, Worthy, and then Hollywood Brown filling in after that. But I think you're going to have your boom and your bust weeks with all three of them. He's going to favor one week, the next one the next week, the next one the week after that. I think it'll be like that all season. I don't think he'll have a singular favorite throughout the year. But with this many weapons that he has, again, like I said, since he lost Tyreek Hill, he's got that speed factor back. I think he'll be able to zero in on who's got the best rhythm in that game and distribute the ball from there. So I don't think he'll cut into it too much. I think it'll be more of a even spread through the season.
Okay, man. So just piggybacking off of that, are we going with a specific receiver? So let's say, for example, right, let's get Hollywood Brown back. Are we playing each receiver based off the game, who we think is going to have a good game, kind of like the Texans? Or are we just, hey, we're starting any of them, any piece, they're all good to go?
I think you're safe to, but I would be obviously favoring Rashi Rice or Worthy. Hollywood, I mean, we're going to see how he looks coming back out. And don't forget, like, they did sign Juju to a 1 year. He's there.
I did forget.
I mean, he might be on the bench, but he's there. So
I did forget, actually.
Be prepared for the Chiefs to keep everybody on their toes and rotate these receivers out and figure it out. What's that look for?
I just got a counter offer in one of our leagues. Hey,
you're on the clock, Scott.
Hey, you just kind of threw me off real quick.
All right. Well,
we'll talk about that later.
Okay, Dale's quit sending them trades.
I think I got a notification for a trade too. So.
Oh God, I'm not gonna do it.
Can't do it, boss.
No, I didn't. But all right, so I think that kind of sums up that game.
At least for the
Chiefs. On the Chiefs side,
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely.
Was he playing?
Did he play? Yes, he did. Isaiah Likely did not play in place of Mark Andrews. He played in tandem with Mark Andrews and essentially just blew him out the water. Isaiah Likely had 9 receptions, 12 targets. What was it, 111 yards, if I'm not mistaken?
111. Yep.
111 yards and almost 2 touchdowns. This close to 2 touchdowns. It's close. And the game tying touchdown. So Isaiah Likely, is he here to stay?
Absolutely. I think so. I think with the receivers that Baltimore has.
Can you say it again?
Good old Alexa. Anyway, so I think that lost my train of thought with that one.
He's here to stay, but how much?
He's here to stay. If you watch him play, he's got all the moves. He's fast. He knows this. With the lack of receiving weapons that Baltimore has outside of Zay Flowers, that's your receiving core. You have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. They're going to be running 2 tight end sets, Zay Flowers, and a body. And then you're going to have King Henry in the back and Justice Hill until Keaton Mitchell gets back, and then that can be really dangerous with that backfield outside of Lamar being able to run. So I know they lost, and everybody's really and the Ravens were down on themselves. They don't need to be. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with this season, and we are right back where we ended last season with the Chiefs and the Ravens. It's just a matter of how's it going to go this year. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. As far as Likely goes, he is definitely here to stay. just to piggyback off of what you said, John, their receiving core outside of Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews is Nelson Aguilar and Rashad Bateman.
Yep.
And Aguilar was a non-factor. Bateman had that one catch that I can remember watching the game, and everything else was Isaiah Likely and little screen passes to Zay Flowers. So I think if they're going to push the ball more downfield, it's going to be Likely. Little quick screens, quick, slants. It's going to go to Zay Flowers. I think Mark Andrews, I don't think he's going to go away. I think the Chiefs just tend to play him more aggressively.
There was a stat on that. In the last 5 games that Mark Andrews has played against the Chiefs, he has scored over 22 yards once. 22 yards and 3 receptions once, and no touchdowns in the last 5 games against the Chiefs. So they literally scheme against Mark Andrews.
Yep.
So I think that was obviously the game plan. They wanted to take away Lamar's favorite target, but they didn't know what Likely was going to do in that game. Like, anytime that Mark Andrews missed a game last year, the year before, Likely would step up and he would overproduce from what expectations were.
Right.
So we've known what Likely can do, but this game, I think, thoroughly shows that he can be an elite weapon in this offense, and they can play with 2 tight ends consistently and not have to worry about anything in their offense.
I agree.
So, last question. Are we holding or are we selling high?
On Likely?
Yep.
John?
I think you outside of having a couple of other elite tight ends, you hold. You can sell high if you want. If you're trying to get a different piece outside of tight end, no, I would ride that horse to the end.
Sure.
He's going to be in my start, not a flex. He's going to be my tight end 1 in every lineup that I have him in, and that's it. I'll figure out the rest. No, he's got it. He's gonna run this season in Baltimore as a tight end 1. Him and Mark Andrews could potentially both be tight end 1s by the end of the season. They're just going to be utilized differently. He's going to be a little bit more of the speedy deep threat, and Mark Andrews is going to own the middle of the field and get yards. He can separate. He can get away from defenders, and then after that, he can get yards. I think Baltimore is going to be scary. So yeah,
I think this is going to be the upgraded version of Gronk and Hernandez back in the Patriots days.
Yep.
That's how I see this offense playing out, running consistent 2 tight ends and just being Gronk Hernandez 2.0. So,
and with a running quarterback.
Yes, I would hold Likely unless you get an offer you can't refuse. I was able to pick him up in 1 league, and Ferguson was my starting tight end, so that's an easy pickup and swap and start for me until Ferguson comes back, and then we'll see what happens. But I think from here on out in that league, I'm starting Likely every week.
Absolutely.
All
right. So that's 1 game.
Yes, 1 game.
So maybe just a few more. We're not going to touch on every single one of them.
I would say week 1 surprises. First off, for me was Tony Pollard. Well, for me personally, it wasn't surprised, but it was good to see. It was nice confirmation. I was high on Tony Pollard, as you guys know. I always believed that he was going to be the lead back. They didn't pay that man for no reason. I feel like he was a better running back, and at least as far as week 1, he showed that he is going to be a running back 1.
Okay.
For me, surprise of the week, I think, is down quarterback play throughout the league. I think I saw a stat that said the average passing yards for each quarterback in week 1 was around 220 yards.
Yes.
That is, I think, the lowest it's been in a very long time. And maybe it's just game plans for, this team against that team. Maybe it's the defenses have stepped up. I don't know what it is, but I hope it picks up because that's not the football we're used to, and that does not help fantasy managers with their quarterbacks.
I personally think it's just week one. I think I forgot what I was reading, what side I was reading it on, but they were saying that historically weeks 1 to 3 are usually down as far as quarterbacks and receivers go because they go hand in hand. But especially now with starters not playing as much preseason, they're just knocking off the rest, getting into rhythm. That's why usually weeks 1 to 3 is the running backs going off. I know this week. For field goals, week 1, I want to say they said it was 58 field goals total taken and 56 were made.
That's high. That's
Sounds
a high
about right.
percentage.
That's a shit ton. So field goals are up, running back work is up, receivers, tight ends, and quarterbacks a little rusty.
Okay, well, I'd say my surprise week 1. I've got 2 guys. Sorry. First, we got the Brazil game. Jordan Love's knee coming out of place and popping right back in. They're saying he's not listed as out, but doubtful or possibly playing this Sunday.
No.
Yeah. So there's no way. There's no way. But they're not wanting to put him on IR. So they're looking at him coming back within a month. So there's that. But I think the biggest surprise for me anyway this week is the Bengals getting that ass whooped by the Patriots.
That was tough.
Didn't see that coming, but I saw some highlights. Ramondre looks good. And the
nobody else on their offense looks good.
No, but you can run it through Ramondre all day.
The Patriots defense, I knew their defense was going to be decent, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
I don't think it was a product of the defense being good as much as it was the Bengals not being in sync on the same page about anything, from the Jamar Chase and his food poisoning, hold in, whatever you want to call it. T. Higgins being
mystery hamstring
and the best feels the best he ever has, and then within 24 hours he's on the questionable because he hurt his hamstring. I mean, there's just a lot of funky stuff going on in Cincinnati, and I don't want to play any of those guys, and I didn't get a lot of them, and I didn't draft any. I tried for some pieces. Yeah, I know, Dale. I know. Don't worry. He can't. As long as he doesn't eat at the same place twice, he won't get food poisoning again, and maybe he can get the ball, and we can move forward. But I think again, weird things happen in week 1. I think you got a lot of people that panic. I think that happens a lot with trades, so like that. Scott just experienced that with a trade, and he benefited from someone panicking. It seems. We won't go into the specifics, but it happens. So week 1 overreactions, it's a real thing. But you just gotta take it on the chin, and then take advantage of that first set of waiver wires to pick up Likely, to pick up other players.
J.K. Dobbins.
It looks like he's going to be, even though they say they're gonna play the hot hand effect similar to the Raiders. J.K. Dobbins looks better than Gus Edwards. Absolutely. And he has something to prove this year. He's been trying to prove it for the last few years, and I think he's finally going to get his chance to. As long as he stays healthy, I think he will. So
yeah. And just going back to the Bengals real quick, I just saw today that they had offered Chase a contract extension. It was 4 years, $140 million. I think it was $35 million a year. but he didn't agree on it because the incentives as far as like healthcare or money up front to help if he did get a significant injury. Let me rephrase that. Didn't kick in as soon as he would like. So that's why he didn't accept the contract extension that they offered. Everything else looked good to him from what I saw, but it was the incentives that weren't more upfront is why he didn't accept it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, they need to figure it out. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Because I don't think they're going to have a season if they keep doing this.
Nah.
Anyway, so what we got next, Scotty?
Tight end failures.
Okay.
Outside of likely Foster Moreau and a decent game from Brock Bowers, everybody else was essentially shit. Trey McBride wasn't too bad. I think he ended up with full PPR. He ended up with 10 points. Sam Laporta ended up with 10 points, but everybody else was sub 10.
Did he get that many? I thought he got like maybe 4 or 6 even.
Who? Sam Laporta or
McBride.
McBride. I can double check really quickly, but I want to say he had about 10 points.
Okay. Yeah, I think there were a lot of
10 points exactly.
10 points exactly.
Yep.
What about let's see, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts actually as well had a touchdown.
Yeah. So I like the way that's moving. I think Atlanta might be seeing value in picking up Michael Penix Jr.
Yep.
So I mean, love
So
Kirk
they knew what
Cousins.
they were doing.
Yeah. So a lot of hush coming over the crowd with that one. But yeah, maybe Raheem Morris did know what he was talking about.
Is his contract guaranteed, Kirk Cousins, or can they find a way up out of that contract?
It's a 1 year, isn't it?
No, it's
was like 4.
a 3 or 4 year, 180 million.
They signed him for a pretty penny.
It was
But I wonder how much
180
is
million.
guaranteed.
I want to say it was 3 to 4 years, 180 million. Not sure how much guaranteed, but it was. I would assume most of it is guaranteed.
Yeah, I think that might.
Ooh, sheesh, 4 years, 180 million, 50 million signing bonus. So he already pocketed 50 million.
Yep.
100 million guaranteed and 45 million annually.
There you go.
Okay, well,
Sheesh.
I think
180
$100
million.
what's that?
I said $100 million tutor.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Shit.
I mean, you just there's your quarterback coach.
God damn.
So,
sign him to a 20-year contract.
but I'll tell you what, if they can get it right, yeah, I mean, because they have a good squad in Atlanta. They haven't had a good quarterback.
Yep.
And let's just give it another week or two and see what they really got, and then they can move on from there. If they need to start cycling him in, getting him in the rotation, then it is what it is. So, but yeah.
So if they do move on from Cousins, say by week 4 or 5, they switch over to Penix. What does that do for the value of London, Pitts, and Bijan?
I think that's TBD.
I think Bijan goes up. Because you saw what happens with Kirk Cousins being bad. Bijan still had a good game.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Bijan's Bijan, so I think he was going to have a good game anyway.
Mm-hmm. But you get a rookie in there, that's going to be a safety blanket.
I think as long as they give him time to make decisions, whether it's Kirk or Penix, like there's opportunity for that team to really flourish this year. But I just don't think we know what we're going to get until we get it.
I don't know.
I mean, we thought Kirk Cousins was going to go out there steamrolling in week 1, but
Not at fucking all. Speaking of old quarterbacks, transitioning, Aaron goddamn Rodgers.
Yeah. Did
He
he?
licked his
Did he?
goddamn
Did he?
leg.
Did he make it through the first series? Did he?
I
Did he
mean,
make it?
he made. I mean, depends on what you mean by make it. He made it
One
to a 3
piece.
and out.
Yeah. No. Honestly, I don't know if you guys, when you were watching that game, if you winced every time you saw him going down, being tackled.
It didn't look good.
Yeah, it's just I don't think he's playing scared or anything like that. You know how like maybe Kirk Cousins might have been.
Mhm.
Same injury. Remember that. But
Man,
everybody felt so much better about Kirk Cousins. But I think Rodgers played a better game. He just went up against a stellar defense,
Yep.
and I don't think you can fault him for that. I think you need to let him play another game or two or three and see where he is after that, because he's a brilliant quarterback mind. Like, whether we like to admit it or not, like Rodgers is smart. He's talented. He knows what to look for. But also he's Aaron Rodgers, and that can be a fault of its own. So I think we just need to kind of see what happens with the next game. I don't know who they play next. I can't remember offhand, but I think it'll definitely be a better chance than he had against the Niners defense.
I
So
want to say
up,
Tennessee.
up next, they play Tennessee,
Tennessee.
Patriots, Broncos, Vikings.
So I think he has a good shot at making a run, getting some confidence, and then actually what we're about to see between him, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, and Alan Lazard, like he went off.
Hard. That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow. So
Everyone
finally
held
he's
it.
throwing to his guy. So I think we'll see what's coming up. So what else, Scotty?
Then, so sticking with the same game, Christian McCaffrey fiasco.
Please let's skip this part.
Christian goddamn McCaffrey. So I've been preaching all training camp and preseason. Something is fucking wrong. Something did not feel right, and I'm so glad I didn't get the first pick, because I would have felt compelled to take CMC, but I really didn't want to.
Me, this guy, I did that.
Because it's like I
did it 3 times.
I feel like I man, 22 drafts, never once did I get the first pick. Thank fucking God, because I would be pissed off. Now, again, if you got CMC but also were able to get his handcuff, Jordan Mason, you sitting pretty. If you couldn't, you're fucking kicking yourself right now.
Yeah.
Because
all week.
That shit, man. And it looks like he's not going to play the second game either.
Yeah,
No.
I doubt it. Even though they keep spitting out, oh no, we'll see how in my mind I'm gonna play, is what he liked to say. And it's like, man, just be real. Like you're dealing with more than a calf.
Achilles tendonitis.
Exactly.
That's a problem.
So
he can sit out most of the season with that.
Yeah, could. So
what I heard today is something like that could typically take weeks to months to get back to normal. And the thing is, with him still trying to practice and trying to get out there, he's getting these flare-ups. He'll feel good one day, he'll feel bad the next. And I think the front office, Shanahan and John Lynch, need to have a sit down with CMC and just put him out for at least 6 weeks. I would say 6 weeks to 8 weeks. Just rest him, let him do rehab, let him get back to healthy, and go from there. Because we've seen what Jordan Mason can do in our offense. And if he can do that, there's no reason to rush CMC back out there. If we're winning games and we're comfortable with Mason, Mason's doing his job, he's not turning the ball over, and we're winning, there's no reason to rush CMC back out there, because we're too loaded on offense to worry about him rupturing his Achilles.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing that can happen is, yeah, you might you might pull your calf, but you're worried about tearing your Achilles.
It's over after that.
And, he might not be the same coming back after it. J.K. Dobbins is an exception right now with what he's being able to do, but everybody's different when they're healing. So I would not take that risk. I would put him on the shelf and just play it out with Mason, who did a phenomenal job stepping in last minute and was able to do what he did.
And he said he knew. He
Yeah.
said, I was told on Friday.
Yeah. Well, we all know how that panned out. So he's killing it. I have to agree with Dale, even though that hurts my heart in fantasy land. So as long as I can get Jordan Mason off of these other fantasy managers, then I'll be fine. It's not going to happen, but I'll be fine. So
I was able to snag him in about 3 or 4 leagues, and those leagues he is like definitely my starting lineup now.
Yeah.
I got him in 2, and I was able to put him in last minute, and he won me both leagues.
Yes,
so
sir.
those 2 leagues I feel comfortable, and those are the leagues that I have CMC in, so I was able to get them off waivers last minute. Nobody got the news. Nobody was paying attention, so I was able to snag him up right before game started, and he's going. He's not going anywhere. He's staying on my team. Nobody's trying to trade for him. I'm not getting rid of him.
Yeah, can't blame you there. All right, so
last but not least, I would say let's touch on Miami versus Buffalo tomorrow.
Okay, so they're playing in Miami. So Miami's yet to travel for football yet. Second home game. Yeah, this is a big rival, these two. And it's still hot. And Miami, the layout of that stadium is pretty brutal because they have it so the visiting team is always in the sun.
Yep, I've seen that.
And yeah, it is rough. And the Bills have suffered this fate before. And as long as they stay hydrated, what do you guys think about this game?
So the question is Devon Achane playing? I think he is.
Hope so.
I think he is because it's a divisional game, right? They're saying that he's nursing this ankle. They're saying it's a game time decision. Unless he's like most was already put as out.
Yes.
So since Achane is a game time decision, I think he's going to play as a divisional game, important game. I think he's going to come out and try to kill it, right? But him being injured, I think they're going to go with Jeff Wilson probably as running back 2. I think it's going to be pass heavy. I think me and Dale were talking about this earlier. Pass heavy. The Bills offense are trying to come out. They're trying to show that they still got it. I think it's going to be definitely pass heavy, high scoring game. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to end up being a shootout. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I know Miami lost some pieces on defense, specifically Christian Wilkins up front. Bills lost Matt Milano in the linebacking core. So each team is down a little bit on defense. So I think that's going to lead to the offense being able to work more, more to their game plan. And I don't know about Achane. I think if he's dealing with an ankle, I think they might sit him this game and just worry about his health going forward. You can't risk him going out there injured and saying he's okay and him get a worse injury than he might have now. Could be a regular ankle sprain and it turn into a high ankle sprain or, something worse. And they're not going to risk that. He's obviously the number 1 running back in this offense now, and he basically operated as their slot receiver.
Yep.
You don't want to take that risk on a playmaker like that. So I think it'll be Jeff Wilson and Jalen Wright that'll be taking the touches out of the backfield. But I think because of that, it'll be more pass heavy. So I think we're going to get a big day out of Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle. And obviously, Josh Allen's going to do what Josh Allen does. So he'll probably have
Get
two
the ball
through
and run it.
He'll probably have two through the air and another rushing touchdown close to the goal line where he's leaping over somebody. And it's not how you want to play football, but it's exciting football. And
Backyard football.
and it gets us points. So I have both in our Superflex league. So I got both starting. So I'm hoping for a lot of points.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, see, from what I heard, Achan's ankle injury, I think it was just soreness. I didn't know if it was a sprain, anything like that. I think he's just dealing with soreness. I may be wrong, but I believe that's what I read. I have Jalen Wright as a backup plan for Achan. Jeff Wilson, I'm sure he's going to go in there and get some stuff done, but I think Jalen Wright is going to be the more dynamic. If they are going to sit him, then I'm putting my money on him, not only just as a sub for this game, but as a long-term play. I think he's really going to develop and become the Achan of this year in his own right. Mostert may not come back for a little while. If they do sit Achan, I actually did what I was supposed to do with CMC and get a backup on that same team. But at least if you don't have that piece, it's the Thursday night game. You still have plenty of time to sub your running back or your flex spot with another player with literally every other game for the rest of the week. So at least there's that. Obviously, we don't want to see any injuries on any teams, players, anything like that. But when you got a plan. And for some reason, I did a piss poor job of planning for CMC not playing on Monday because he said he was going to play. And I didn't talk to Jordan Mason that Friday, so I didn't know. So I just went with it. I only subbed him in one league, and it's because of that I actually won the league. It was our family league, so I put in Jerome Ford instead.
Yeah, buddy.
And I won by like 3 points, so it was all good. But yeah, I think that will be a shootout game. At least it will be towards the evening, so it should be cooling down some. And yeah, hopefully it's just an action-packed, good, fun Thursday night game. Yeah. So any other big games this week you guys are looking forward to outside of our Niners? Going to see Sam Darnold.
No.
Sam Darnold, though, holding his own.
He has been holding his own, but it's been 1 week, so we're gonna see how the hell it's
again. Week 1 overreactions, right?
Yes.
Who's I know you, Johnny. I know you're gonna be excited. Giants Commanders. Your boy Danny Dimes. I mean, picking up right where he left off.
I don't know that guy.
Oh, you do.
No,
Picking up right where he left off. Tossing picks and pick sixes.
You guys see the mocking video of him leaving the stadium? Fan recording like, "Hey, Danny Pennies."
That was bad.
Like, there's a lot of hatred in people, but it's just a game at the end of the day, fellas. Like,
yeah,
it sucks. I guarantee you, he's beating himself up more than anybody else. But they've got to have a change in their game plan and game play. Something's got to give. So
they need a new quarterback.
Drew Lock.
Like, Daniel Jones is not, has not, and will not ever be the answer at quarterback there. I mean, his contract year, he only threw 13 touchdown passes, and he got $160 million.
Yeah.
I don't know what that front office was thinking, signing him and not Saquon, but now they are living to regret it.
Yeah.
Especially what Saquon just did. That's a big fuck you to the Giants and their whole organization, being, this is what you could have had, but you don't want to pay me. So now I'm going to do it somewhere else. and you're going to live to regret it.
See, and that's the thing too, because they did that deal wrong. They should have tagged Jones, and they should have paid Barkley. Notice how we didn't even talk about how Barkley destroyed that game in Brazil.
Yes,
It's
sir.
because we know that's what he does. We know
Mhm.
that. We always know that. They should have known that and paid that man. He
Exactly.
wanted to stay. He wanted to bring that city a championship. And they just said, no, not interested. And now, and they traded him in division. Like, it's a division rival. Like what? So they're really, I just don't have any words for the front office there in New York for the Giants. It sucks. It's bad. And if this season doesn't go at least breaking even with a 500 record, that front office is going to start getting deep
Blow
clean.
it up. Blow it up.
What's up, Dale?
So correction, he wasn't traded. He chose to sign with the Eagles. He was a free agent. They let him walk.
They told him go
Yeah,
see.
They got nothing for him. All they got were tears and heartache when they saw he signed with the Eagles.
Yep.
So I think he did that obviously because that's a championship caliber team, but also he did it out of spite and a little bit of, just fuck you to the organization. Because
I don't think so much out of spite. I think it was just he saw his best opportunity. They gave him a great offer where they valued him, and he decided to go there. I don't think he had any kind of he played his cards right out in the open with them. He let them know, hey, I don't want to leave. Like, he literally did everything he could, more than most of the other players in the NFL, and said, hey, here's my hand. I want to stay with New York. I want to be with you guys. I want to take you to a championship. Please pay me and let me do that with you. And they just gave him the shaft and said, nah, we're good. And then so he decided, all right, it's nothing personal. It is to me, but I'm not going to treat it that way. And he went to the Eagles. And when his kid asked, Daddy, does that mean we're going to start winning now? He said, I hope so, baby. And that's the answer. That's character right there. And that right there makes me want every piece of Saquon Barkley in every league that I can, and I don't have. And it makes me sad again this year. So, but good for him. And him and the Eagles are going to benefit from that.
Yes, sir.
So
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, week 2 of football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Week 2 on the way.
That's it.
Mind you, I just want to say real quick, Dale, you're a fucking asshole. Bruh.
Okay.
I don't know what I did.
I am completely lost.
What I do?
All I'm gonna say is friends and family. All I'm gonna say is friends and family, and he sniped the fucking deal I was trying to get.
Did he accept that?
He fucking did.
No, he didn't.
He fucking did.
Oh my god, no, he didn't.
We're really all just getting on our phones on the pod right now.
I'm
no,
sorry.
we're not. No, we're not. I just wanted to say that really quickly because I was looking up some stats and just so happened to notice that he was missing somebody from his team, and he sent me an offer.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Exactly. So, do you want to know what? Do you guys want to know what I offered? Just throw it out there real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Run through yours, and then run through mine.
I offered.
We're really just breaking the rule we made. Okay, go ahead.
We're not talking any specifics. No specifics. We don't know where we're talking about.
You're literally about to break it down.
No. Let's just say Jalen Waddle, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Brandon Cooks for an Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's just say of a player of that type, right? Let's just say that, right? That was my offer, or would have been my offer, right?
I wouldn't take that deal.
Versus a Brandon Ayuk and a Zamir White.
I wouldn't take that deal either. But I'd be closer to taking that deal.
Oh,
then you throwing your trash out along with it.
how is that trash?
We just talked about it. Zamir White, like, no. Like,
Oh my god.
Alexander Madison's taking over that backfield. Antonio Pierce said that they would be running with the hot hand in that offense when it comes to the backfield, and he will be that hot hand.
No, Johnny, he took Zamir White and Brandon Ayuk.
From
What?
me.
I offered Waddle, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
And he
So,
took Brandon Ayuk and Zamir White.
and he let go Amon Ra.
Yes, sir. Right back to me.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, so it was a good pod, guys.
Great
I think
pod.
we got a lot in. We'll get a lot more in next week. We're really trying hard. Just so everybody knows, we're trying really hard, or at least I am, to not talk specifics when it comes to any of our leagues. But maybe that'll be beneficial, actually, to talk
tough.
these kind of things. I don't want to influence. Not necessarily not
League
influence.
actions.
I just want to make sure we're having fun and we don't get anything going that we don't want to have to stop, kind of deal. So
I feel you.
I think as always, maybe we just keep it free speaking. If we come across if we come across any kind of instance where it's all right, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about that, we'll address it at the time and move forward. But
I just had to address that.
yeah, but looking back now, like it was fun. Maybe
that's crazy.
yeah. So just anyway,
Oh man.
just fair warning, anybody in any of our leagues, you may be a subject of discussion here on the pod at any point in time.
No names though.
So if
No
you're
names.
listening, let's stick to that part. No names
No
of
names.
the team managers
Or the
such as
league.
ourselves. You just said the league.
No, I didn't. Oh,
yeah.
Disclaimer. I am in 22 leagues, and 6 of my leagues I have friends and family in them. Just a disclaimer. So
to try to not narrow it down. Okay.
So
all right. Anyway,
man.
All right, we'll have fun with it. We'll keep doing that. Actually, maybe some pods just talking strategies and stuff like that. In addition to recapping games, anticipating upcoming schedules, stuff like that. We can play with that a little bit. We'll try to make sure we stay regular with the episodes. Record Wednesday night, air Thursday morning in most cases, so we can get it out there before kickoff starts Thursday nights. If we find a different balance that works better for us to get it a day earlier to you guys, that works. We'll just figure it out, and then maybe we'll sneak in some Friday night or Saturday episodes from time to time just to give a little extra content. Maybe even if we have some really epic like Sunday night or Monday night games, and we just can't contain ourselves, we'll hop on and we'll get a quick little 20-minute pod out there to you guys and
mercy pod.
Yeah, I mean, awesome situations deserve reflection immediately. Let's dive in. So let's have fun with it. If you guys have any comments, questions, let us know. We're monitoring the channels, so we're here for you guys. Like, share, subscribe. We got to build this thing. We appreciate you all, and I appreciate all of our wives for allowing us to do this.
Shout out.
Yeah, so we're taking time away from them and our families. But we try to time it right so everybody's kind of in bed and chilling. But yeah, we definitely appreciate it, and we will see you all next week. Unless you guys have anything else.
Comments, questions, concerns down below. Appreciate you guys. Anything you guys want to tell us, like Johnny said, we're monitoring the channel. We're open to it. Any suggestions, any feedback, we're open to all of it.
Yes, sir. Please comment, like, subscribe. Like they said, we want to grow this thing. Just three guys having fun, talking
Just
fantasy,
some dads.
and we just want to see where we can take it. And we can't do that without people interacting. So if you guys have the time, we'd appreciate it. And just keep the views coming, and hopefully we can keep this thing growing and keep the content flowing.
That's it. All right. Well, appreciate you fellas and appreciate everybody at home. And we will see you next time.